Rick Derringer and Robert Palmer here on 102.3 WHCL in Whitehall, Wisconsin. It is 11 o'clock. Time now for Open House with Hansen Real Estate Group.
It's time for the open house on WHTL.
What are you, some kind of real estate agent?
You're joking, right? I don't joke about real estate.
With the Hansen Real Estate Group.
I never understood why people are so afraid to eat at an open house.
I know.
The open house starts right now.
Every Wednesday here on 102.3 WHCL, we welcome one of the pros from Hansen Real Estate Group into the studio. And today, Josh Baecker. And Josh, good to see you. Thanks for coming by.
Good to see you, Mark. Glad to be here.
I'll tell you, it's a beautiful day out there in the heartland, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. This whole week is just beautiful. Can't ask for much better.
I can handle this kind of weather. You know, it's really starting to feel like summer now.
It really is.
And that's a good thing in my world. I'm not a winter. You know, there are people that love winter. Do you know that?
I do like winter, actually, so I'm one of those.
You're one of those.
I don't mind, but I'm glad to see the good weather now. It's spring, it's cold and muddy, and then it's snowy, and then it's muddy again, and it's just cool. Like you can't get going with yard work or the garden or field work.
No.
So this weather is finally nice. You could break. Farmers can get in the fields. Everybody can do yard work. Just kind of get out of the house and get into the yard.
The farmers are really out working. You know, you drive by the fields and you can see that. And I have a feeling that, you know, here we are. It's May. You know, we've had snow in May, but I don't think so now. I think we're done.
I think we're pretty safe. I was even looking at the extended forecast. I don't even know if we're going to get a frost. You know, there's always a chance yet, but hopefully not.
You know, they always say don't plant your annual flowers until Memorial Day weekend.
I know. That's what I had in my mind when I was looking at it. I'm like, I don't know if we can plant them now or not, but...
But my wife Lynn and I learned that the hard way. One year we planted all these beautiful annuals, and we thought, oh man, we got a head start on the year. It was like mid-May maybe, and then all of a sudden we had a huge frost, killed everything, and it was like, well... that didn't work out well.
Nope.
So, anyway, you want to talk about something today that might be pretty easy for people to fall prey to if they aren't familiar with the real estate market, and that's scams. You know, there's scams out there for everything, and you know we don't necessarily think of real estate as being one of those, but it does happen.
Yeah, when people think of scams, they more think of, you know, credit card and, you know, electronic stuff that's a little more instant. You know, real estate, it takes a little more time, you know, to close a transaction. It's not as instantaneous as other things, but there's money in real estate, so there's scammers that are there. So,
how do some of the popular, or not popular, no scams are popular, but how do the most prevalent scams generally work?
A lot of the ones I see they send out letters in the mail. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure people out there listening have gotten these before, especially if you own vacant parcels. They seem to target vacant land parcels quite a bit. Not all of them, but a lot of them seem to just target those.
Mm-hmm. And what do these letters say that you get in the mail?
They're just pretty generic. You know, there's usually not a lot on there, but it's saying we're interested in buying your property, and they'll usually have a price, and they'll usually have a contract with them with that price in it. So that's the thing is all you have to do is sign and send it back, and it's, you know, real estate contracts, whether it's the Wisconsin approved ones that we use, or even if you can write up your own personal contracts, and if you sign them, you know, they are legally binding documents. So it's not like you can change your mind after you send it in the mail. You know, it's not like a handshake where you can back out of it. They are legally binding, and a lot of people will end up losing that legal battle if they sign them and send them in.
So don't sign anything unless you know for sure where it's going. And probably a good idea would be to have your lawyer or a real estate pro take a look at it.
Yep, exactly. A lot of them are really lowball offers, so it's always best to have a realtor come look at it, give you an idea on price if you're thinking about selling it. So, you know, or at least talk to some family members. You know, a group of people can pretty much tell you if it's a lowball offer around here. Mm-hmm. So just be cautious of those. You don't want to just get something in the mail, look at a dollar amount, sign it, and send it back. Say, ooh, I'm going to get $100,000 today, when you could get $700,000 for it.
So basically their goal is to try to get the property as cheaply as humanly possible, and then they turn around and resell it at a big profit.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know how they come up with their prices. I haven't figured that out yet. They're usually all over the board. They're all low, but I don't understand how they come up with those prices. But yeah, it's a long game strategy. They send out thousands and thousands of these mailers, and if they just get a small percentage back, it's a win. And they're just looking to hold the land, to let it appreciate over time, resell it for market prices if they want a quicker return on their investment, or they'll lease it out too for extra income while they're waiting for land values to appreciate in the long term.
I think one thing that you brought up is really important, and that's that if you sign it, it's going to hold up for them. So, you've got to be really careful. Don't sign anything unless you know for sure what you're doing, because you may not have a lot of recourse after you sign it.
Yep, exactly. I know there's been people that have signed them and realized it was a bad deal and they couldn't back out of it. So, and we always, just regular real estate sales, we always caution sellers and buyers, like if they're on the fence at all or they don't know, we always tell them these are legally binding documents. So don't sign it unless you fully intend to execute the contract.
That's really good advice. And, I've never gotten one of these letters, but I do get the phone call every now and then. You said you've never had one of these, but
I haven't had.
You get a random phone call, and it's a number that's spam, and you don't answer it, and it goes to voicemail, and then all of a sudden you have a voicemail, and it's somebody saying, John, this is so-and-so, and I'm wondering if you're still interested in selling that property in Vernon County. Could you call me? And it's like... What do they want? They want you to call back. So number one, they know it's a good phone number, and then they'll go, "Oh, well, you don't have that. What property do you have?"
Yeah.
Oh, I see how this is going to work.
I can't wait to get one of those. I'm curious.
Yeah, as a realtor, you'd have fun with that one, wouldn't you? So be careful. Unless you know for sure who it is, be really careful.
Yep, and especially they target vacant land parcels. So like us, we have two parcels. One has a house on it, one doesn't. So we always get for the vacant parcel. And I always try and caution the older generation, because they might not realize that that's not market price, because the lowball price on the contract is way more than what they bought it for 40 years ago. So to them, it might be like a big deal, and hey, I don't use that back 40 anymore, we might as well sell it and pocket this change. But in fact, you're losing out on quite a bit of money.
Yeah, well, that's why you need a professional to help you through. If you got a property you want to sell, make sure you're getting top buck for it.
Yep, and they do make it appealing in those letters. I did forget to mention, they go, we will pay all closing costs. It'll sell as is. There's going to be no hassle to you at all, other than the fact that you're selling it for way less than what it's worth.
Yeah, we'll even drive you to the bank. We're that way. We're nice. All right. Yeah, not if it seems too good to be true, or there's a good lesson there. If it seems too good to be true, or it's a windfall that comes out of nowhere, you gotta really question that. You really do.
Yep. Yeah. Always. It usually ends up being too good to be true. That holds true for many years here.
Now you've got some property, actually some lots that are really attractive, and we were talking. You won't get a letter on these. This is the real deal.
Yep, exactly. So we still have a lot of Independence lots in the development available there, and they are offering a promotion now. If you buy a lot, build, and you live in it for a year, you'll get 50% of your lot purchase back.
That's cool.
So that's a pretty good deal. Basically 50% off. If you buy, build, and live there for a year, that's not too bad of a deal.
That's not bad.
And springtime is here, summertime, we're getting in the spirit for building houses and buying new ones. So
good time to move.
It is. You don't want to move in 6 months from now. So.
And you've got a property outside of Arcadia. Man, this is a beautiful place.
Yeah, this is a pretty big house. So it's almost 2,100 square foot, 3-bed, 2-bath on 5.73 acres. Easy commute. You could be to Independence and Arcadia in 10 minutes. So you're between Independence and Arcadia. Easy commute, peaceful country setting. Kitchen remodel was done a few years ago in 2021, I believe. And it's got a 2-car attached garage, but you got a pretty big 34 by 46 detached garage as well.
Wow.
So if you want to store toys or build a shop, it does have in-floor heat. I don't think it's set up in that way now, but the in-floor heat is there. So if you wanted to finish to make a heated shop area, that's what everybody loves. That's my dream too.
34 by 46, that's a big garage or toy shed or tool, toy shed. No doubt about it.
You could fit a lot in there. Boats, boats, UTVs, four-wheelers.
And it's right outside of Arcadia. So is that what Arcadia school system there for
Yep.
that one? On Lewis Valley Road. Now, is that a conventional sale or an auction?
It is a conventional sale, and
Okay.
it just was price reduced down to $545 here. So
Wow. And for that kind of acreage and a home like that's a pretty good deal.
Yep, you couldn't buy the land, build a house, and put the well and
No.
septic in for near that price. So
No, you couldn't. Not with today. That's for sure. Check that out. If you want to see it, just give Josh a call and you can set up an appointment to go check it out. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you, Josh?
cell phone's the best way to get hold of me. You can call or text 715-533-4114.
4114. Josh Baecker, appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark.
Who's up next, do you know?
Jacob.
Jacob next week? All right. Always a pleasure seeing the pros from Hansen Real Estate Group. Check them out at hregroup.com. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Mark.